this girl walks into a gym, into a squat rack or whatever, or even a deadlift platform or whatever it is, and then once she gets past 2 plates, everyone's head starts to turn and starts looking, and they're all just sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen. Yo, you're listening with Teo,
Dami,
and Carrie,
and you're listening to the DAMIHOW podcast. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I haven't seen you in ages. We haven't trained in ages. Like, you just abandoned me.
You're on
Like,
this twin thing.
Listen, like, she just
I'm
abandoned me.
still on it, but I'm embroidered on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I can't.
Oh, yeah, everyone shades like kings.
Come on, you know you like it. It's just a better vibe.
It's just far. Because you drive, because I don't drive. It's just...
Yeah, no, it's kind of far, isn't it?
But
I've
yeah.
never been there, though, but it always looks lit.
Yeah. But yeah, tell us about you. Who are you? What do you do? You know, give us a little brief overview.
Okay, cool. So I am a fitness content creator and online and one-to-one coach. I've been kind of doing gym for like 6 years now, which is crazy to me. Like, do you remember when we were started at the gym in Lewisham, when I didn't know what the hell I was doing and was producing like these crazy fitness videos, which I'm sure if I look back now, I was like, people must have been like, what is she doing? But yeah, I've been doing it for like 6 years now, but properly for like maybe four years. Before I started off doing sort of like fitness content, I was a gymnast, and I did that from young till about 20. And then like life just took over, and I was just like, do you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I just got into fitness. I actually started going to the gym with one of my exes, and then like just randomly got into it. So now I have a Instagram platform that I use to just kind of create content. And I got a couple of sponsorships from that, which is great. And then through that have like built a whole sort of client base, online coaching and one-to-one. And yeah, it's just kind of grown from there. So here we are today.
That's fair. How did you get into gymnastics?
I think I really was like an active kid. So my parents were just like, we need to put her into something.
Do something, innit?
And I had a friend at school that was in gymnastics already, and I was just like, okay, that's what I want to do. And to be fair, I really kind of miss it sometimes. Like I've been to do like adult gymnastics a few times just to like see if I can do things which I cannot anymore. But yeah, just through being really active when I was young and always doing something sports related.
Did you do anything else other than gymnastics? Basketball, football, tennis, badminton?
No, I did. I was really good at sprinting, so I used to like sprint, like sports day. Does that count?
Yeah. Are you fast?
I used to be. So I used to do a 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
And I actually was like pretty fast until this one girl. I remember this one girl in my school. She joined like in year 8, I think. She joined and she was fast, like really fast, and then she just like knocked me off my titles.
Yeah, your dream ended.
So like I did sports day as well. I used to do like 100 meters and I wasn't good at 200 meters. My stamina was not.
Got endurance.
Like I couldn't. But the thing is, I used to come like first, second, like maybe third, but like first, second. But then I'm thinking, am I really fast, or is it just like other people are just not? Because I was.
Oh yeah, look at me.
Because there was another time I went to some. Because I used to always do like sports day, like loved it and everything. Like but I went to something else, was like outside of school thing, and I was like last. So I'm just thinking, am I actually fast, or is it just people like that I was racing with were just not fast? Because I don't know the times.
I feel like you if you were slow, you wouldn't be coming anywhere near like first, second or whatever. But sometimes it is people around you, if they're not like into that.
You're good enough for a certain level, but obviously
there's
you're
always
not
be
better than
somebody
who's better, basically. And that's what it is. They're just people around you weren't that great.
Do you think you can still run now? I feel like I'm so embarrassed to try.
Actually, like,
I'll drop. I would actually drop.
No, I was going to say that.
I would actually drop. Like, it would definitely be me. I
One
know.
of you lot should do a quick 100 meters or 50 meters.
I feel like I'm so heavy now that like it's just mad. Like I feel like I'm just so heavy. I don't know how I would be able to like carry myself and just.
And I don't like. If I'm honest. Now I'm older, I don't actually like running. So
I feel like my form is just funny. My body just looks weird when I'm running. Like even on the treadmill, like it just looks a bit mad.
Yeah, I ain't touched the treadmill ever. Boy.
That's not the form of cardio we like
That's
around here,
really
guys.
Not. How did you get into like training other people? Because you've been training like yourself for like 6 years now.
Yeah.
And then how did you get into?
It came about through people asking me whether I was a trainer, and I would just be like, no. And actually, after a while, I was like, I'm saying no to many people when I could actually be qualified and actually do it as a passion. And it's actually because I'd always be in the gym, and because I didn't have a trainer, I'd never had a trainer. I just was around people who were previous trainers
Yeah.
or knew what they were doing because
Yeah.
they've done their own work on it. And just learning from them actually is why I'm here. It's like I learned how to deadlift through people that knew the science behind it, to squat. And I was like, actually, I can pass on this knowledge to other people.
Yeah.
And it came around through, so I used to work in finance and hated it. And then just quit one day. I was just like, I've had enough. It was like...
So wait, does that mean right now you don't work for...
No, so this was a while back. This is
Okay.
before I started.
Yeah.
So I quit and I was like, what am I going to do? And I had 6 months off work, temping here and there. And then that's when I did my qualifications.
Okay, cool.
And then through that time, I just started training loads of clients. And then like, it just came through that way. And I just loved it. I just like one-to-one. And then now I've only kind of like branched into online just to free up some more time. But yeah, it's always been like, it's great when people can see you like, oh, how have you got to where you've got? And then you can kind of show them the way.
It's good.
And it's been a while since me training. I was like, what, 6 years? Quite some time. Like when you look back, even I'm thinking, I think mine's been like 6 years or 5.5 years now as well. So I'm just like, it sounds crazy. It feels like, I've come far, but at the same time, I'm like, raw, 6 years. I feel like I should be doing more kind of thing.
I think that there's a tendency to like feel like a bit like, you know, what's it called, imposter syndrome, where you feel like I should be doing more. Is this really me? But actually, if you think where you were 6 years ago and where you are now, you have brands, like you've got a platform, you've got like, there's a lot.
But I mean, just in terms of like training, like, but then there's so many steps to it. Like you get through a certain step, and then there's some time downtime, and then you do it again, kind of thing. So just in terms of like even like our numbers on the lifting, like I'm like, I've been training for this amount of years. I should probably be able to do a bit more, but that's just,
it's
do you know what I mean?
Isn't it, to how you train? And I think it's like, because I remember not being able to lift like 120 kg. I found our videos the other day from the gym, and I was like struggling. Anything past 100, I was struggling.
For like deadlifts.
For deadlifts, like,
and now you're both
and
pushing,
the form was off, and weight's coming up now. Like sometimes harder than most days. But
how does that feel though? Like, I mean, I know I'm not acting as if girls can't go to a gym, squat and lift heavy and all of that stuff. But I know that I see it all the time on social media. For instance, a girl walks into a gym, into a squat rack or whatever, or even a deadlift platform or whatever it is. And then once she gets past 2 plates, everyone's head starts to turn and starts looking, and they're all just sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen. Like, how does that feel for you, like both positively and negatively?
I don't think there's any like negative connotations to it now. I look at it positively. Like it's because I feel like people look in awe, don't they? Like rather than like, what's she doing? And I think when you've been gymming for a long period of time, there's a confidence about you that kind of shows that I've got this. So once you're under the rack, there's people looking like, oh my God, like, I don't think they're looking in a way of like, what's she doing? I think they're looking like, this is a strong woman, like, let me see what she's got, like, let me see if she can lift this. So I think there's only really positives. I've never like, I think back in the day, having some negative experiences kind of, you know, when your form's a bit off and like you having a thing like people looking at me because I don't know what I'm doing. Which is one of the things I think a lot of women face when they're first starting. They're like, what do I do? I need a sport, I need this. But yeah, it just goes to show you're strong. It's good. Like,
have you had any bad experiences in the gym? Like with men, with females, with PTs or wherever?
Yeah, I've had I'd say a few, not many, but I think over the 6 years, a few times where I've felt not necessarily uncomfortable because I can hold my own, but I've just felt like I can just feel like a bad vibe from men, or men just kind of in your space trying to talk to you, and I'm like, I'm working it out here, like, and you can tell there's not just there's an ulterior motive, or it's like, oh, do you train men? Do you do this? And it's like all these all these questions that actually they're not interested in finding out. Actually, you're just trying to talk to me and be in my space, and that's what I don't like. And you know, I'm someone, as I said, you're probably like me, we can hold ourselves and just like fob it off and whatever. But there's some women that probably feel intimidated by that. And so I think that's the only...
Yeah. I feel like there's two sides of that to what you said in terms of like, what you're asking about lifting heavy and stuff like that, how people kind of perceive that. I think it's mostly positive because people kind of don't expect you to be lifting as much as you're lifting, like lifting more than 2 times your body weight, but then and they're like excited for you, they're like, raw, like, well done, like, go you. But then some of them is kind of like, I feel like sometimes some men have this thing where they want to be the one to, I guess, show you, or kind of like, I don't know what the word is, but they don't want you to be as as
The ego
what's
thing.
the word?
I
Like,
don't know the word, but
do you get what I'm trying to
I feel like
say?
They don't want to be on that par with them, so they don't.
Yeah.
They catch you doing well, and then
They're
they
like,
come
oh.
and turn over and basically act like they're trying to PT you.
Yeah.
They want to
Yeah.
coach you on these small things and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and stroke up a conversation.
I
about
used to get that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let me just show you how to do this.
Yeah.
Or like, let me jump in and show you. And now I don't get it. I think
Yeah.
it's just because I'm like, give this vibe of like, don't talk to me. But it's that weird vibe.
Yeah, I feel like they just want to kind of
It's a
like,
bit of ego, isn't it?
yeah, they want to be able to like show you how to do your thing, but when they see it, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's just cool. They leave you alone, but it's just they have this kind of like expression that just gives you just bad vibes kind of thing. But at the same time, it's good. It's good, nice when you have like, you know, you go in there, you do your thing, and they're like, oh, raw, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a nice feeling sometimes.
Yeah, like I'm a PT. Like I never really approach people like that either. But like I do every now and then catch someone, and I look at them and I watch and I think, oh, that's pretty cool.
Do you correct people with bad form? Like, if you were to see someone with bad form, because this is the question I've got a lot. Like, as a PT, you've seen someone, you don't know them, you've seen them in the gym. What is your approach?
So people ask me this a lot actually, and I'll be real. I say nope. I leave that person alone. And sometimes I used to a lot back in the past. Like I've been a PT for like 5 years now. I've been training almost 10 years. I used to run. I used to do athletics, and then I switched over to strength stuff. So like I've done a lot. I've messed up 100 times. I've got it right. Whatever.
Yeah.
And when approaching people for business, maybe. I look at it in a different perspective, and I do things slightly differently. When acknowledging people in a gym, it depends on how long I see them or how regularly I see them or how bad they're doing something for me to decide to get involved, because I've got involved in several situations and the outcome has not been what I expected it to be, even when just having a casual conversation with a person. So I feel like I don't like to be troubled when I'm training, whether it's by members, people, even people that I know. So I just like reflect that onto others, and I make the assumption that certain people want to be left alone whilst doing their thing. So as long as nothing they're doing is completely unsafe, then I'm not getting involved. I just leave them to do that.
But what do you think? But don't you think that's kind of like your duty as like the PT at the gym to kind of like make sure everyone is doing things like the correct way, kind of thing?
So like specifically making sure everyone is doing things safely, yes. Because obviously you can do things that are wrong or slightly out of place, but it's not the end of the world. But then obviously you can do things that are unsafe and dangerous, which is different, because then it's effective to you and maybe someone else around you. Like, so like, I don't know, like, you know, like you've seen super bad form of rounding spines and deadlifts and stuff like that. I might tap someone and say, and just ask, like, coach them about lifting their chest up, sitting their hips down properly into position. But then you've got like people doing tricep extensions the wrong way, and it's like your shoulder's not about to fall off from doing tricep extensions, but you will probably hurt yourself seriously by doing a bad squat or a bad deadlift. So I think that's just the difference for me. It's just like knowing the two. And that's the only time I get involved.
So how do you approach it? So someone's doing a bad deadlift or bad squat. How do you approach them? Like, how do you approach it without seeing like, you know, creepy or just being? But because you're the PT at the gym, I feel like it won't come across that way.
It depends, you know. But go on.
Do you know how I do it? Which I just like, can I go up to them and like, can I just make a suggestion? I'm a PT and because I think a lot of people don't mind, but I think it's just that you're right. It's the approach.
Yeah.
I think, because I think if you come with just like, oh, I've seen you do this, like, you look great, or like, can I just make a little suggestion? I'm a PT, and it would be really good if you do it like this. And a lot of the time that's happened, they've actually like taken on board what I've said. But I think it comes in the approach. Like, you can't go up to someone like, oh, you're doing it wrong, or you know, just kind of maybe give a little compliment first, or give a little something first, and then open up the conversation.
More time I build on what they've already done, in a sense, where it's like, I'd be like, oh, like, I don't know, it might be might be a guy lifting something quite heavy. I'd be like, oh, that's sick, man, well done, how long you been training, blah blah blah, I've been training a couple of years, oh, well done, man, that's sick. Quickly though, I think if you do this, do that, do X, do Z, your lifts are gonna shoot up, definitely. And then if they ask any more questions, then we're good to go from there. Literally, that's just my approach.
It's so painful to see though, especially because I'm not a PT, so it's like I can't really, you know, be approaching people, so I just leave it unless they ask me. But to be fair, there was this guy at the gym, so they were squatting, and he just kept struggling to get like his squat up. So like he would squat down and he just couldn't get it back and his friend had to take it off, and they did it like 5 times and it was hurting me so much because I knew what he was doing wrong and I wanted to say it so badly, but then I got close enough to them and I was like, oh, you know what, like, you know, if you just bring your legs a bit closer together, you know, you can do it. And then he done it and I felt so good, like it felt nice, and I felt like he obviously appreciated it, but I think it's knowing when to do it, like let them maybe do it a couple times because it might just be a one-off, like just a bad thing. I think it's just the way you approach it, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's like for me it's about like safety and then just whether you're being silly or not. Like for instance, he could potentially goes down too many times, goes down the wrong way after being fatigued, he might hurt himself. So it's good for you to come in and say something about it. But like I said, if it's something just small.
What about people online? Because you know we see bad forms and like stuff like repeatedly online from like maybe the same people or the same person or whatever. Would you ever like DM them or say anything?
That's not our business. That's not our business.
Yeah, I feel like it would just create too much tension.
You reviewed that video.
And social media, you cannot hear tone in messages. And that is one of the biggest things about. I don't know. I just couldn't.
Can't do that. Like that person reviewed their video, did all the edits, slapped on music, and slapped it up. That's cool.
They like it.
That's what you like. Have it.
They like it. They're happy.
That's what you like. Have it. Me, I'm not involved. I'm not commenting. I'm not involved. It's not my business.
No, you don't even want that.
Because me, I don't want that trouble. I don't want them to be fighting me over.
Have you ever had anyone come into your DMs and correct your form or
I have
talk about a video? Have you?
But I'm open to everything. I spend my time learning. Like even now as a PT, I still read. I still do like more follow up on stuff that I don't really know. And like especially around all the compound stuff. So around deadlifts and squats, the science changes all the time. Like things that you thought was correct a year ago is different today. Even down to big examples. We were talking earlier about your back rounding in it. So for instance, you've got so your upper back, lots of people round up there, but that's not always a problem. Rounding through your lower back is a major problem because obviously you've got your like the end of your skeleton with no protection, no rib cage, no nothing. So that's a dangerous area to round through. But through your upper back, some people might just be stiff, have hunchbacks. Like there's things that are out of their control, but their spine is aligned or straight all the way through. So if their back is rounded and they're pulling, they're deadlifting quite normally. You're not then. How am I supposed to correct someone to just pop out of a hunchback when they've been in that position for years? So things change all the time. So I'm always open to listening and I take everything on board. Obviously, if it sounds like something I already know, I'll just listen to its till it's finished, and then just go about my business. Like I'm not too proud. I'm easy.
No, I hear you. I think I'd be open to it. I've never had it. But I wonder why when I look back at my own videos, like, really, people just watched it, was like, yeah, you're doing really well. And I was like, no, I was not.
I think when you look confident enough, everyone just believes you. And that goes back to like what you're talking about people online posting like nonsense. Like you see like nonsense training or like nonsense information, but this person has X amount of followers, so everyone just takes it word for word for what they're saying.
I don't think has anyone come into me to say something. I think so, probably, but it's never been in a way that's like
except for me.
That. What?
I told you about you.
You say? The only version I remember is the pin squats.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, I told you about your fake weights from NRG.
Oh, you beg. Yeah, because I was funny. He was like, he's such a hater. Do you know why he's a hater? Because when I'm doing the bumper one, the bumper plates. Wait, do you know what? Let me say this, yeah. Do you know why he's a hater? Because all my other videos that I'm using the other plates and I'm doing numbers on them, he's never said, well done, you know, you're doing good, you're lifting weights. The one time that I'm using a different weight, that's when you say, oh, you know, that's fake.
Listen, bro. You can't be. They're
not fake.
They are.
They might be.
They're a bit lighter.
They're a bit lighter.
I'm not gonna lie.
A kilo or more lighter.
Yeah, they are. A bit lighter.
Like if you. But it don't matter. Well done.
Yeah, because I can still lift that number anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter.
Man, you're a good man. You don't need to worry about that.
The online thing is the problem. Is TikTok. You're not even on TikTok like that. No. That's where people are brave and people will just like, because I have a few videos on there that like.
I've been on, like, people have sent me links to things.
Yeah.
People that we know. And I've seen the comments and I'm like, right, people don't care on TikTok.
Yeah.
But it's a younger, I feel like it's a younger generation comment.
Do you know what? I think it's just because they're not in the close proximity to you. Like I feel like with Instagram, there's still some kind of, I feel like with TikTok, anyone can kind of like see your stuff and they just, I don't know, I feel like it's just easy to say stuff on there. And I just have like, but with mine, it's mainly guys, it's mainly men that always like try and like say stuff. Like I had the things that they normally say, is wear a belt, like your safety, and I feel like they don't say this kind of stuff to guys. Like when they see girls, like, why do I need to wear a belt? You saw my phone was fine, I was fine. Why do you keep emphasizing on?
I never comment on anything, and I avoid it. But one time I saw this guy, so I saw this. There was this girl, I forgot her name, but she wears some of your kit as well.
Oh, is it?
And she's sick. Like she deadlifts heavy, squats heavy. She did
Tosi?
Like, yeah, it's probably her.
Yeah,
so I think she dropped a video one time deadlifting like 180 or something. That was the first time I ever saw her. And I'm in the comments here, and I was about to just say like well done, that's lit. And I see someone wrote like they were asking if it was like because it was red plates in it, so you know some people get confused thinking it's 2.5 or whether it's actually 25 kg. So someone was asking us a stupid question saying, is this I don't know what they said, is this whatever basically, innit? And I wrote to her, I said, and she answered them, innit? I wrote to her, I said, please don't answer any stupid questions from stupid men like that, please. No. Just go about your business and train, innit? Yeah. Because I thought to myself, don't do that, like don't ask questions that don't need to be asked. Yeah. You're on her page. If you want to know whether she's lifting or not, check the rest of it and you'll see everything that's there. Yeah. That's the one time that I commented I'll never do it again.
No,
but it's nuts because people are just like crazy out here.
Yeah, like some guy was like, put the bar, like I was squatting, it's like put the bar between your traps, and I'm just like, why? They just say a lot of things that's just like, why do I need to do it? Because everything else is fine. It's just like,
everyone
why?
wants to say something that they heard from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you ask the why, no one will have an explanation
no one will
why
have
they
it.
want you to do what they're doing.
But I've just taken it now. People that like comment certain type of stuff, I just know that you don't lift. Yeah. That's it. I just know you don't lift. So I don't even take it too serious. I just know you don't lift.
But with that being said,
you can ask me to squat.
And that pause, I see he was going to ask some crazy question.
No, what I was going to ask you was, has anyone ever accused you of being unnatural?
No, I've never. I've actually never been accused of being unnatural. I have had comments though from, and not recently, like ages ago when I used to post videos from men on like under my post being like, this is not natural for women to be.
Oh yeah, them kind of.
But no one's checking for you. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm good. Yeah. So, but yeah, I've never had it.
Fair.
Never like.
Are you surprised by that?
Yeah and no. I feel like.
Because for men, like I've never been asked that. I'm not fucking large anyway. So I'm good. But for men, that's actually very common. Yeah. And it's very easy for people to say that when they don't do anything. Yeah. They don't work out, they don't train, or they do and they barely train or anything. And they see another guy that within 6 months is a certain thing, size or whatever, and they just jump straight to that.
No, I've never had that. All I get is, how long have you been training for? So literally the question, the most common question is, how long have you been training for? I've never had like, are you on anything? What do you take? So I don't know. But then again, I'm always around people that train and just kind of have some sense to know. Well, not sense, because that could be or something. But you know, just I feel like sometimes you can tell a difference, and I feel like I'm around people that just know me and have known me for a long time and just see my progression. And if you see me from like years ago, I was always kind of like naturally like athletic. My physique was, do you know what I mean? I didn't have to like, I had to build upon it. It wasn't like, you know, naturally muscular. So people can probably see me from then and think, oh yeah, she's always kind of had some sort of like tone to her body.
You more or less like had the same frame, but just not the size.
Not the size, exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So what extent do people have to go to be not natural? Like, is it certain types of,
as in like steroids
drugs,
and things
steroids.
like that? Yeah, so steroids, growth hormones, there's a couple other stuff. But like the main thing is obviously steroids, pill steroids, or not pin stuff. That's all American nonsense.
I would
like that growth hormones and other hormone stuff. Some of it is like the growth hormones are like, I don't want to say legal, but I don't want to say fine either. I just mean like the growth hormones are like normal stuff. This is stuff that you can get from like pharmacists.
Yeah, I was going to say, because how easy is it
like,
to get it?
For like health related reasons and stuff like that. But yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever.
Do you think all bodybuilders are natural? Or do you think, like, what percentage of bodybuilders do you think are natural, not natural?
Competing bodybuilders, if we're being real, you're talking about like real competing bodybuilders, like it's like 90% of people take.
Really? So you can't get that far naturally?
Even if it's like, what is it, test to make them like more, like, which is a steroid. Even if it's a little something, I feel like all of them, mostly
like,
all.
Yeah, people cycle on and off in it. So they do like, I don't know, let's say you got a competition in 10 weeks, you do like 4-6 weeks of whatever, and then you do 4 weeks training normally, and it's like then you do comp, and it's like the board and the people who examine this are aware of this, but obviously as long as you don't have anything in your system close to performance day, then good to go. And that's that.
It's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Go on.
So
What was you going to say?
Would you ever, has anyone asked you if you've like competed, or would you like to compete?
Yeah, people ask me, mainly, not physique, but mainly like in terms of powerlifting. But I know I'm strong, but I just don't feel like I'm strong enough, or I'm not as good as I can be. And I feel like it's a good and bad thing. I feel like it's bad because I'm kind of holding myself back. I should just kind of do it and just see how it goes. I can always, it's not the end of all kind of thing. But I don't know. I just don't feel.
Maybe knowing that you've got a comp coming up will allow you to kind of like push for some, like push for
Yeah. But I think at the same time, because like, I don't know. I think I just enjoy it as it is, and I feel like I'm quite competitive. So if I am gonna do it, I have to be the best at it, and I don't like that pressure at the same time. Yeah. So it's just like, that's why I feel like I don't want to go into it. That's why I say I give myself, okay, when I know I can lift this number, then I'll like consider it, because then I know I'm at a certain level kind of thing, which is, I don't know, maybe like we was gonna do it that time. I was actually on it. Built differently. Yeah, this was right before COVID, like before everything shut down. I was actually gonna do it. I know. But it would have been good to do. It would have been fun because it was just like an unofficial thing.
I think the only
but
thing that would let down either of you almost is bench. That's it.
Yeah, but I feel like if you can,
because you can.
I feel like that's
you'll hit more than 300 with deadlift and squat together. So it's just bench that keeps it below 4.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the whole. That's like for women, in it. So it's the whole category.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
we could do it. I feel like
you should do it still 2023.
we'll see.
My knees, guys.
Yeah.
That's what I'm. That's what I was gonna say. Getting a coach.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because I was like, okay, cool, but then I was like, I've got to pay someone to coach me, train me, and I'm just like, that's not really a priority for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not making money back from this, so I ain't got money spare for that. Do you know what I mean?
Just to be benching for benching sake.
Also, guys, I'm getting on an age, and I feel like my body's just like slowly adapting differently to my training.
How do you know?
31.
Oh, you wait? Yeah, because you said, oh my god,
I'm not spring chicken anymore. Cut that out. Yeah, but I feel like my body adapts differently to training now. Like, whereas before, like my recovery takes longer, which is weird. Especially like on like heavy compound days for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been noticing my DOMs have been lasting longer. I'm just
like,
what is going on?
What's going on? So I've like kind of scaled it like back a bit. And also it's my fault as well, like post recovery stuff, not kind of not
stretch
doing like proper active recovery
stuff.
days and like stretching. So we're back on that like.
Yeah. So what would you say is the most challenging thing of like? So you've been training for some time. What would you say has been most challenging, or what's still quite challenging for you?
Do you know what? I'd say my deadlift. Actually, it's been getting better, but I feel like that was one thing that was really like I was stuck on for ages. Like my numbers weren't going up. I was fatiguing really quickly, but actually I had to just change the way I was training. Like, because we tried to lift heavy, like, or squat heavy, like for a while, not having like any like any deload weeks. Or anything.
That's what
I think that's the one thing that affected me.
Yeah.
And since I've been doing more of that, my numbers are going up and going up again. So I feel like I've mastered where I need to be. But that was for ages. I was just like on the same numbers for deadlift, and it was just killing me. Like my squats were going up, it was fine. And I was like, why can't I do it? But you really have to just take into control your body as well. Like, I feel like with my lower back, it fatigues quickly because I wasn't doing those like little strength exercises in between. Like some people, you know, like I feel like we're different in the sense of like I'm quite quad dominant, powerful in my quads, and then I just had to was neglecting those exercises for my lower back and stuff. So you just have to work on your weaknesses. That's what I'd say. Like,
fair enough.
So what's your numbers now?
So deadlift 160.
Oh, when did you do that?
I did that a few weeks ago. Actually.
Oh, well done.
and squat is like 150. And it's not gonna. I've actually not tested my PB for squat, so it's like 150. So
you can definitely do way more. I feel like you can do 170.
Yeah, but again, with these knees, guys, you need to protect these knees.
It's an old age kicking in.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I wanted to switch up my training. Like I feel like I've been training like very similar to how powerlifters would train for a while now, and now I'm training a little bit differently. Like I have a coach that I'm working with because I'm going for more of the aesthetics. I want to like put on weight and build, and it's nice. It's a different type of training. It's a bit more like hypertrophy stuff, which is great. And then I'm going to go back to strength. So and I think having that break from strength and kind of just pushing my body to its limit is going to help.
So with that, are you like taking supplements and stuff now? Or have you ever been
I do.
on supplements in the past?
I've always kind of taken like vitamin stuff and protein. I do like, what do I have for my supplements? It's actually not a lot, and oh my God, I hope my coach doesn't watch this. But yeah, that's it. I do like vitamin D. I have like creatine sometimes, but that's it. And just like multivitamin stuff.
Fair.
Protein shakes.
Vitamin C, protein shakes.
Yeah.
Do you like protein shakes?
I do. So I have the clear whey isolate from Bulk.
I love a clear whey. It's just like juice. Like it's just
juice.
easy
It's
to
the
drink.
best. Easy
It's
to
so
drink. It's
easy.
not
Quick
thick.
20 Gs. Like it's just easy. Have you had it?
No.
It's the best.
I use clear whey usually. No, I use whey iso usually. Well, in the past, but I haven't touched protein shake for years. So I might just.
It's not even I don't like it. I
some
just
more
sometimes it's just long and I just forget. I haven't had a protein shake in ages, a long time.
I have it not religiously now, but like I do remember to have it because it's just part of my routine now.
Yeah.
But it does actually help. Like,
Yeah, it does.
especially for growth as well.
You need as
yeah.
much extra
You need as
protein.
much-
as you
Exactly.
can.
Yeah.
If you
I
can't-
just end up forgetting.
If you can't eat that, then you got to drink that.
100%.
I was taking creatine at the beginning of my training. I don't know how I started because I didn't know anything about it. I probably just saw it somewhere and I bought it. And this was like, I think a year into training. I didn't know how I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know like it was actually a good what did they say? It's the most researched.
It's the most researched like, supplement out there.
So I've been seeing it a lot now.
It has the best benefits for your body, especially when you're lifting heavy, getting into powerlifting, regular squatting, deadlifting, all of that jazz. You need to load up on creatine.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I just forget about all these supplements. But would you say they're necessary?
It depends what your goal is. But yeah, I think so. I think for us, especially like in terms of like muscle recovery, muscle growth, I think definitely. And I feel like there have been a lot of changes in like how my body's grown compared to like when I don't have it and when I'm not like reaching my protein goals. So yeah, I definitely think it's, not a necessity, but it does help.
Fair. So you've been training what, like 6 years? Been training about 6 years. Started doing online coaching. Got like 15k plus followers on the gram.
Could be more.
Soon to be more.
Follow me.
In Jesus' name. And you've also got some sponsorship stuff, right? Talk to me a little bit about that. Who are you working with and how did it come about?
So, good question. So my main one's Bulk. So I've been working with Bulk, which is the nutrition supplement company. And I started working with them during lockdown, I think first year of lockdown. And they just approached me through Instagram. I think they'd seen a video that I did with women's health, I believe. And yeah, they just approached me and they were like, we love your content. What do you think about coming on board with us? And at that point I was like, I don't even know what kind of things you guys sell. I'd just been buying my like protein from like Sports Direct at that point. I just wasn't really into not into nutrition, but in terms of supplement side, I was just like, don't really need it. But yeah, that's how I got into it and just started like working with them closely, and then started learning more about the products. And yeah, it's just a really good team. Like we've had shoots, I've met most of the other ambassadors. They're all sort of like about promoting your own way of like health. So they don't kind of like push products onto you. They're really just about like, as an ambassador, you sell what you want to, like you push out what you actually use. It's not like, there's a new product, we want you to do this. It's like, no, I have like 4 products I use from Bulk, like religiously, and that is the only 4 that I push out. And if there's something else that I like, then I will. But
you introduce that.
And I kind of like it because it's not just like every little thing is a new thing, because people get fed up. People think they don't think you're genuine if you start like pushing out everything.
Because they have 160 products and you're selling them all week long.
Exactly.
It's tight.
Exactly. So yeah, but been with them now like 2 years. which has gone so quick.
I know, time flies. I remember when it happened, I was like, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And that's pushed on to like other stuff, right? Because you've done, I saw you did something with Sports Direct Women.
Yeah, so I did a Sports Direct campaign for their spring collection, which was like advertised in all their stores, which was really good. Again, lovely group of people. And then hopefully we'll be working with them again soon. And then, just been doing a little bit. I did a Dove campaign as well. For just like how to love your body, basically, which was really good. And that was like, that was like nationwide. That was everywhere. So that was like all different countries that was shown. So, got a bit of promotion there, which is great. And then been doing little bits with like USA Pro, just kind of working with them on their new collections and stuff, their Cali collection. There's actually been like, now I'm talking about it, there's actually been quite a few opportunities. And it's like, again, this is the other thing about fitness, and it's allowed me to like branch myself into things that I've never thought I would ever do, but I've actually really, really enjoyed it. Hopefully bigger things and will come, and
so in terms of like, obviously you've got your supplements that you use, so in terms of eating, do you count your calories?
My macros, so I'm, as I said, I've got a coach at the moment that I'm working with, just because I wanted to put on a little bit more size and like shape my body differently. And when you are when you're doing one-to-one online, you don't have enough time for yourself to kind of like plan your own programs. I just needed someone to do it for me, and it's been great. So I have like my macros that my training day macros and rest day macros, but usually I wouldn't count calories, but I think I want to hit a goal and then just kind of like work from there.
And how would you kind of like say, because I feel like sometimes people can get too, I guess, maybe obsessed with like counting calories. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what would you say is the best way to do it in a healthy kind of way?
One thing I do tell my clients is don't become obsessed with like one with scales, and it depends on your goal. So it's not really about the calories. Again, it's just kind of about the type of things you're eating. And I feel like macros is a really good way to make sure that even if you're not like weighing it, you're having a look and seeing, am I making sure I'm having enough, or is this too much, kind of thing. So having a guide, or having like some sort of guide, even if it's like, I know people hate this, but is it MyFitnessPal, the app? Everyone hates it, but it's actually quite a good guide, just to see if you're hitting where you need to be. And it's not like every little thing like, I can't have this and I can't have that. You could have a treat, you can have to, as long as you're kind of like within your ratio of where you need to be, it's calm. But I'm not someone who has ever advised to calorie count. I've never done it myself. I've always just been like, make sure you're hitting your protein intake, your fats intake, your carbs, and and then you work around that, and you, depending on what you want to eat, kind of thing. And obviously like giving healthy options and nutrition options and stuff like that. But I think it's boring calorie counting.
It's like, that's not me. I try, when I first kind of got into thinking, I was like, this is long. But then obviously this year I wanted to lose weight. Like I'd put on so much weight, so I wanted to lose weight. So I started counting. I only did it for like a couple of days just to get an idea of the portions that I need to be having, and then that was it. So I feel like you need to do it to a point, not to a point, but just do it to kind of get an idea and know what it is, rather than tracking every single thing. And then what I do, again, like you said, I just look at, like, when I buy something, I say, okay, how much protein is in here, how much fat, and then kind of just work it out that way, rather than being every single time I need to see what I'm doing, kind of thing. And have you seen online, like, I think it's probably people that don't really train, or people that just don't really understand it. They say like, oh, counting your calories, like it's an eating. They say like fitness people have an eating disorder because we're quite conscious of like what we're eating. Obviously that's not the case, but
that's the number one question I get asked. So do you count your calories, like, or are you allowed to have that, or do you must eat really healthy all the time? And I think that's one misconception in the fitness industry, that everybody is on like this calorie counting or trying to lower their calories or. I'm like, no, I'm trying to eat as much as possible over here. I'm trying to pack it all in.
There was a crazy thread I saw on Twitter. They were just like, you guys, like, it's just, Twitter's such a weird place at the same time. Like, I don't know, I feel like people just have this weird thing against fitness people, and it's so weird because it's like,
everyone's just like,
why?
It's a perspective, isn't it? Like, you look at things from all different angles and come up with all different answers. But I think with fitness in particular, it's like people feel as if people are forcing people to do certain things, to get active and to do stuff that they don't want to do, which is fine. But because of that, then they decide to demonize the fitness and all the elements of it, without really like taking into consideration that in some ways everything fitness related that they think is bad is something that they do in their own life.
Exactly.
Like, as much as I might go gym 5-6 days a week, you might get takeout 5-6 days a week, and it's like no one's complaining at you about that kind of thing. But then obviously you feel bad about that anyway, and you know you do.
Yeah.
So then you kind of switch and talk bad about something different, basically. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys. Like, what do you think about the people just like overnight become fitness fanatic? Like, because I feel like the fitness industry has grown, especially since we've started. There
wasn't that many.
Because we didn't even start doing content for a while. We were just going to the gym, but we were like, when we started, it was just like a few of us, a handful of us, like that were doing properly on the fitness content, and it was great. And I really admire people that have started it and stuff. But what do you think about those that just like, you know, just change their whole alley and avenue, and they just become like fitness gurus overnight? I think suddenly they just like share that information.
I think everyone has a right to do whatever they choose to do in it. Like, if you want to produce content, as in show what you're doing, that's fine. And there's a difference between showing what you're doing and then coaching and teaching. Same way, like I know several girls and guys selling, you know, nutrition, even personal trainers selling like full-on nutritional packets when they don't have a nutrition qualification and stuff like that. And that's a personal trainer. So I'm not just talking about like someone else that goes to the gym. So I think producing content, i.e. showing people what you eat every day to get your results, showing people what you do in the gym for your results is perfectly fine.
And that's the thing.
But then there's a difference when you start to dictate
what
and then
dictate
what
and you're giving bad advice
and give bad advice because your body's different to this.
I agree. And I think there's not a lot of clarification when it comes to, guys, this is only what I do for me. So make sure you get your. I think it's kind of like some people put it out there's like, this is what you should do. Actually, that's what you do, and actually everyone's different, and it's going to be tailored differently to each person. And
but
it's interesting.
We have to be real. I think one thing everyone has to understand, and this is why I don't bother too much about this. We have to be realistic and understand that, like, first of all, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I'll tell you that.
No one gives a shit, and that's the whole thing. It's like you can be 10 years trained in psychology, training exercise, lifting up your left foot and that, but Jessica comes on with her sexy toe and she's just out here doing whatever, and that's it. Because that's what people want to follow. But then you just have to be what's the word? Authentic, and you have to just understand that, like, if this is the route you're going to go down, you have to be willing to struggle on that route for as long as it is until you get to where you want to be. Like, I follow people who are so on the intellectual stuff, like on YouTube, some guy called Jeff Nippard and that, and he like preaches all this good stuff about training and exercise and all that stuff. And not once has he deviated from his style of work, and now he's reaping all the benefits from it.
Do you know what? I think I agree with that. I feel like, and that's why I mean, like, being whatever you come on the ground for, let it go. You have to. You got to stick to what you're doing and just let everything else go. Same
reason why I'll never be on the gram starting my videos like this.
Are you? I feel like I've done that.
You've definitely done that.
Oh my days! No, that is funny. It's just funny. But that's just because your personality.
That's too much for you.
It adds a bit of like, let me watch on, like, especially in this whole new real thing, like, it just
even the Mandem one will be this. You'll be doing like.
Do a bit of flex first.
Or pulling up the thing like that. No, I'm good.
You know what the girls one though is don't you? You know what the women's one is, the version of that.
Which one is that?
The little leg.
Oh, the little leg twist where you put your cheek like that.
No. It's in the camera and you're just like.
I can't lie to you that, sorry. I can't get your attention. You go watch the rest of my video now.
I'll watch on for that.
Of course you would.
I'll watch
Exactly. Exactly. But no, do you know what it is? With that, it's like there's two parts of it. It's like there's times where like it's annoying, where like obviously people just come out of nowhere and start giving thingy. But at the same time, it's kind of like people don't understand the extent of it. I feel like probably before, maybe like a few years ago, I probably thought, oh, it's not that deep. Like, it's just, you're just, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's like now that I understand things a bit more, I'm like, okay, I can't give you this advice because I'm not qualified in it. I don't understand much in it, kind of thing. So I feel like it takes time to until.
Like, I refuse to give advice in it. I refuse money for certain things because it's like I don't want to them. Like I remember I had this woman came up to me and wanted to do boxing stuff in it, and I said I can do pad work with you, but I'm not going to teach you how to box because I don't have no certification or that kind of skill. So I told her I referred her to someone else. Obviously they're not a boxing coach either, innit? But she went there and did her thing, and it's cool. Not saying anything's wrong or she's gonna break her wrist or something. It's not even like that. But it's just I don't want to be giving out a service that I don't actually give out and then get called to it one day and I can't justify the reason why I was doing it, and that's all it is.
Or have them injure themselves.
And then
go to somebody else.
they got to refer to the fact that I did that, and I can't like support it with anything. So that's all it is for me personally.
I think people just need to be cautious of like, especially people that are just kind of starting up their fitness page now, or they just started training. I feel like even if you just started training, you can say, oh, this is what you've done to you personally. I feel like people just need to be careful of like what they're telling people to do or what they're actually putting out. Because I feel like even with me, I've been training for so long and I don't give fitness advice. Like my page, I feel like is literally just my progression of what I do. I never like, you know, advise or like say anything like. That's why my page is literally just the stuff that I do, because I still feel like
and it's what you do, so people can be inspired from what you do, and they can take them pieces away from it, and just
I think, like, lastly, just the consumer should just like pattern up and switch on
and just
really like go through the market. You know what I mean? Especially like if you're gonna get a coach, go around the gym, look at people, watch them train. If you're gonna follow something online, check a few similar.
Do you know what is what I've realised as well? I think people kind of go to what seems easy and fast. So regardless, it's like they know that they would probably be given advice, but like a proper good advice, and they're just like, okay. It's then they see something else that
says you can do this, and your belly's gonna get small,
exactly.
Then you're gonna do that.
So even though I feel like I'm quite knowledgeable, but I feel like I'm knowledgeable for myself. Like I know what to do for myself, and no, I know I'm doing this wrong, I know I'm doing this wrong, but when it comes to other people, I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, like like go and speak to someone like proper kind of thing. But obviously people just want to do what's easy, like even though they know like people someone would have told them, you know, the correct way to do certain things, but if they see something else that seems easier and more to their liking, they gravitate towards that as well. So it's kind of like you said, it's kind of down to the consumer to
Yeah, I agree. And plus, there's like information's all on Google, so people can find free information. They just need to look it up. They don't need to like, you know, people be asking them for advice, but when it's all there. So yeah,
you know, that makes sense. So I'm like, what's left for you? Like, what are the plans like for the rest of the year and things like that?
We gotta wait and see, Tayo.
No, but a little. Just like, what's your goal? Like, what do you aim to like achieve? And just a little
the aim is growth and consistency. So grow my platform. And not just grow it on Instagram, grow it in other ways. So just exploring what that looks like for me now. And stay consistent and just try and produce the content that I like, people love and they want to see like from me. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Can you tell us one thing that you are working on there?
No,
not one, a little bit, half of it, a hint, nothing.
No, wait and see, girl. I'll be telling you.
Okay. Fair enough. No, but we wish you the best. Like, it's amazing having you on here, and we need to train again because you just abandoned me. Like, just no. Once we go to Kings and Croydon, that's like how far?
Okay. I'll come to NRG.
Yeah, I'm bored. It's just me.
I know, everyone's left.
It's literally just me. Everyone's gone. But it's been amazing having you. Thank you for coming.
Guys.
Thanks, guys. You've been listening to the DAMIHOW podcast.
Take care, man.
Bye.